Once upon a time, in a world filled with mysteries and the unknown, there existed a place that sent shivers down the spine just by its mere existence. A place known simply as Room 313. Room 313 was never an ordinary room. It had a history, a dark, sinister history that made it infamous throughout the town. See, years ago, a guest had checked into the room and somehow vanished without a trace. Some said they heard screams in the middle of the night. Others claimed to have seen a shadow figure lurking in the hallway outside the room, but no one knew for sure what had happened. All they knew was that the guest was never seen again. After that incident, Room 313 was sealed off from the rest of the building. A red "Do Not Enter" sign was hung on the door, and the key was kept in a safe, hidden away from prying eyes and curious hands. Legend had it that anyone who dared to enter Room 313 would suffer a terrible fate. Some said they would never return home again. Others claimed that those who did come back were never the same, their minds broken by the horrors they witnessed within. But despite the warnings, new staff, or perhaps a curious tenant, decided to investigate. They wanted to uncover the truth behind Room 313, even if it meant risking their own sanity. You see, curiosity can be a powerful motivator, a force that can drive us to do things we never thought possible, even if those things may lead us into danger. As our protagonist approached the room, the atmosphere grew heavy with suspense. The once bright and cheerful hallway seemed to close in on them, the walls pressing in like an ominous tomb. With a deep breath, they reached out a hand to knock, but just as they were about to do so, the door creaked open as if beckoning them inside. As they stepped into the room, the door slammed shut behind them, plunging them into total darkness. For a moment, they stood frozen in fear, listening to the sound of their own heartbeat. Then slowly, very slowly, they began to explore. As their eyes adjusted to the darkness, they started to make out the shape of the room. It was empty, yet the air was thick with a sense of unease, as though the room itself was watching them. They could feel their heart racing in their chest, their breathing becoming shallow and quick. They tried to shake off the feeling, but it was no use. The room was heavy with secrets, and they could sense that they were not alone. Then they heard it, a whisper, a voice so faint it was almost impossible to hear. At first they dismissed it, thinking it was just their imagination playing tricks on them. But then, the whispers grew louder, more insistent. They were coming from the walls, from the very fabric of the room itself. They continued their exploration, each step echoing in the silence of the room. And that's when they saw it, a mirror on the wall. They approached it cautiously, half expecting to see their own reflection staring back at them. But instead, they saw someone standing behind them. They turned around, but there was no one there. The only sound that broke the silence was their own ragged breathing. Suddenly, the clock on the wall caught their attention. It was stuck at 3:13 a.m. No matter how many times they looked at it, the clock never moved. It was as if time itself had stopped in Room 313, and then they found it. A small, leather-bound journal tucked away in a corner of the room. As they opened it, the pages revealed a chilling message. "This room has taken many souls now. Be careful, whoever finds this. Turn back while you still can." They read these words. They felt a cold dread creep up their spine. They realized that they were not alone in this room. There were others here with them, trapped in the darkness. With trembling hands, they closed the book, knowing that they had stumbled upon something they were never meant to see. The room seemed to press in on them, the walls closing in like a coffin. They turned to leave, but as they did, they saw it again, the figure in the mirror. This time it was closer, watching them with an eerie smile. Just then, the lights flickered on, revealing the full horror of the room. In the corner, they saw the figure standing there, and it wasn't a figment of their imagination. It was real. They screamed and tried to run, but it was too late. The room had claimed them as its next victim. And so, the legend of Room 313 continued. A terrifying tale whispered in hushed tones, a warning to those who dared to seek out the truth. For in Room 313, the walls had ears, and the shadows held secrets that were best left buried. Hey, you made it to the end of the video? So that means you get to watch the blooper reel? Just click the link to watch next.